And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus on this wonderful Wednesday, December 17th, a week to go before the Christmas holiday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director Bridgette Readel. And breaking news, the National Weather Service, as expected, has issued a blizzard warning now for the FM area and points northward. We were kind of expecting this. Looking at some of the weather models this morning, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have blizzard conditions enter the area as we head into tomorrow morning. So if you have any travel plans tomorrow, might want to hold off on those as things are going to get pretty tricky. We're actually looking at a halfway decent day today, but all in all, we are not. We're not looking at anything that's too bad today, but as we head into tonight, it's still going to be halfway decent. We're going to see temperatures in the 30s most of the night, so we'll have a little precip in the form of rain that will be pushing into the area as we head after about 7 o'clock tonight, and that will go through about midnight, and then we're going to see a break in the action. We'll remain pretty much dry as we head through the most of the overnight hours after midnight. And then towards about 6 to 7 in the morning, a sharp cold front will hit, and you'll know it because temperatures will start to rapidly drop. And we're going to see very windy conditions develop out of the north, and we're going to see wind gusts at or just over 50 miles an hour throughout the morning hours on Thursday, with snow and blowing snow and visibility down to near zero, thus the reason for the blizzard warning that it was just issued by the National Weather Service. Now, I'm not expecting a lot of snow out of this, probably about an inch or so, maybe up to 2. We'll call it 1 to 2. Now, in the Northern Valley and into northern Minnesota, those areas could pick up 3 to 4 inches, and conditions will be much worse to the north of the FM area. But, again, it's going to be bad through about early afternoon, about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then things will slowly improve as the winds will start to relax as we head towards evening. And then after that, things will finally get better. So is Bridgette with us, Addison? Okay. All right. I thought she was on phone. Bridgette, you don't have any travel plans tomorrow, do you?
I'd like to get home from Sioux Falls today. Sounds like I better be there by 7 o'clock to avoid rain. Um, After that, my plans were Friday to be able to get to Carrington because there's an NDSU extension event there, which ties in great to our speaker today, or excuse me, our guest. So what are my chances I'm going to get to Carrington on Friday
No problem.
morning?
Yep, you'll be fine on Friday morning. You'll be fine.
Okay, no icy roads.
Well, I mean, you'll have some leftover ice on the roadways, but you know what? I mean, from the evening hours tomorrow, when the winds die down, and they'll actually go
hmm
light overnight, that will give the road crews a pretty good opportunity to improve the roadways as you go out towards that area.
I just need a front mount salt spreader or sand spreader to put on the front of my pickup. That's what I'm going to need. I'll talk to
Okay.
the state about that. I'm sure they won't mind me helping. Right. It shouldn't be a problem.
Sure.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So, yes, I am in Sioux Falls. It is a beautiful day down here. I just finished, I was speaking at the agronomy conference for the South Dakota Ag Business Association. Thank you to them for the invitation. Really enjoyed being here. There are other speakers from North Dakota, including North Dakota State Extension. So again, this all ties into our guest today. That is going to be, excuse me, Greg Lardy. He is the Joe and Norma Peltier Vice President for the College of Agriculture. And we have a whole list of topics for Greg that we're going to get to. In the meantime, want to make sure that all of you are connected to us. We love that you are here at the Coral Laundromat Studio. And you can go ahead and give us a call on the JLA Insurance phone line. That number is 701-293-9000. Remember, coverage is changing and you need to check it all out before the sign up ends March 16th. So talk to Nate Thorsrud at JLA Crop Insurance. Then additionally, Lighthouse Commodities makes sure that you can see us. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Acres TV. You'll find us at the WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. And I'm going to check my emails. You can reach me, ag@flagfamily.com. Dean is weather@flagfamily.com. So you can send him all of your questions about where you will be Thursday and Friday. And those inboxes are powered by Superior Grain Equipment. You can protect your farm's future with Superior Grain Storage, Drying, and Handling Solutions, superiorbins.com. All right. I know we're going to do Wednesday weather trivia today, Dean. I don't know if you want to do that now or if you would like a little tractor history lesson first.
Well, let's wait till later to do our weather trivia. I've got 2 weather trivia questions. I'm debating on which one to use. So,
well, there's next week too, you know.
There is, I know, but I'm debating whether the easy one or the hard one this week. So
go for the hard. I hold the record on making people go to day 2 to get an answer
right.
on a question.
Well, actually, no, we won't have one next week. Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas.
Yeah,
yes,
so
Christmas
we
Eve.
won't. So we'll still do it. We'll do it in our last segment. We'll make everybody tune in. Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, I have a little history lesson for you. And the word genius, well, that happens to be associated with a gentleman in the farm equipment world. His name is Edward A. Johnston. And he was a part of a 40-year career at International Harvester, which many of us now know is rolled into Case IH. Often you'd hear International Harvester listed as IH. So this young man, at 20 years old, it was the year 1900, he built his first engine. And it had rotary valves that ran one of the earliest cars in North America. Okay, time went on. He had more ideas. One of them was, still in 1900, still at 20 years old, the first live PTO. PTOs, the power takeoff units that we use on tractors today, is what makes a lot of our implements run, whether it's a baler. In the past, we had pull-behind swathers. You may use it for grinder mixers with livestock. There's all sorts of reasons to have PTOs, even augers on the farm. Well, what Johnston did in working with a colleague was take a 2-cylinder engine, paired it with a 2-speed transmission, put it on a chassis with a cutting bar, and they called it the auto mower. This was the first successful power takeoff unit, and it ran independently of the transmission. This advance was the first live PTO, because PTO production on tractors didn't actually start till the 1940s. He was that far ahead of his time. This guy was also tasked, while within IH, to go ahead and create a farm vehicle. Well, it really became the first farm pickup. It was named the Auto Buggy, later the Auto Wagon, and that Auto Wagon, that's the precursor to over-the-road semis that we see today. That's how it started. And again, this was back in the 1920s that he was doing this work. Really started the first engineering in 1905. Now, he got things running, doing incredibly well, to the point that in 1942, he created the first cotton picker. That came from IH, and it was introduced in December 1942. So there's a little history lesson for those of us who, I don't know, I suddenly became a machinery geek in my old age. And Edward Johnston is quite a name to know when it comes to ag mechanics, engineering, tractor history, and so much more. So a little proud moment there for the folks over at IH. I think they learned a lot out of it. Very cool. Well, again, we're going to have our guest joining us today. That is Greg Lardy. He is the Joe and Norma Peltier Vice President for the College of Agriculture. Boy, I hope I got that right. And as far as I can tell, Greg's business card must be like this big, but we got it all. We're going to visit with Dr. Lardy. Complex. There's work being done in the Bowley Center and so much more. And we'll catch up with him after we get the American Ag Network's livestock report. And when we return, we'll also look forward to weather trivia at the end of the day. So stick around. It'll be a busy hour. Well, if you're thinking about going to the Coral Laundromat, just drop everything off. Have the attendant do all the work for you. They got 80-pound capacity washing machines. Way better than running through that all through my washer at home, especially if I have like horse blankets, heavy coveralls. I mean, if you've bought those Duluth trading coveralls, they weigh like 30 pounds, people. Go get them done over there. Don't worry about them yourself. Thanks for being our sponsor as well to the Coral Laundromat. And this Friday is the Central Dakota Ag Day that is put on by North Dakota State Extension. It will be at the Carrington Research Center. Dean's going to keep the weather clear so I can get there because I intend to be there to listen to the keynote speaker, who is Chris Sherman. He's with Tech Support Farm. And for those of you who are curious what Chris is going to be talking about, see you in Carrington. He's on the stage at 10 a.m. And again, that is the Central Dakota Ag Day put on by the North Dakota State Extension Service. That will be held at the Carrington Research Center just north of town. Ties in well with our guest. That is Dr. Greg Lardy. He is the Joe and Norma Peltier Vice President for the College of Agriculture at NDSU. I'm sorry, Greg. One of these days, I'm going to get it right.
You got it. You got it. Very good.
Whew.
And you're right.
So,
it does tie in very well to your intro with the Carrington Center and the program up there.
Will we see you out in Carrington, or is your agenda not allow it on Friday?
We have commencement on Friday, so my first assignment is to be able to welcome our graduates across the stage for commencement on Friday afternoon.
If one of us didn't walk across commencement because there wasn't one for winter and she had a job at the spring commencement, what if I just slide her in sideways at the back of the line just to walk across and
I
wave?
think we could make that work. I think we could get you some time on the stage.
All right. Speaking of some time, the stage, what is on stage and what's going on for the College of Ag these days? There's a pretty big list.
Yeah, a lot of cool things are happening. One is we've got construction ongoing on the Bali Agricultural Laboratory, Bridgette, and so that building is on schedule, on progress. Excited about completion of that, slated for May of 2026, and we're already in conversations with our faculty and staff about move-in dates and how the move-in process is going to work. So we're really looking forward to that.
What's going to be housed at that Bali Center? I was fortunate to be there for the groundbreaking, but building something that large takes some time. So now that it's nearing completion, what will I see when I walk in the doors?
Yeah, you're gonna. The building will house all the front-end work in our agronomy, horticulture, plant breeding, plant pathology programs, some of our soils work. It's really anything that needs to come into a laboratory that really shouldn't be coming into a wet chemistry or molecular biology lab. So a lot of our breeder seed samples, where we're hand threshing, soil samples, that sort of thing. We're going to have greenhouse capacity for replacing some aging greenhouses that are on campus. So it's a lot of the front-end agronomy work or front-end horticulture work that'll be there.
Well, and the reason for it is replacing some World War II era buildings on campus. So this was necessary for further development.
Yeah, we've got a number of buildings that this building is replacing, including what we refer to as the Lord and Burnham greenhouses, which were built, right after World War II, and they've really, aged out in terms of their useful life, and so getting that additional greenhouse space, modern greenhouse space, will be critical. But we're moving people actually out of 5 different buildings into this building, and so it'll be a major upgrade for a lot of our folks that need some new laboratory space.
How are space constraints on campus? Okay, first of all, if you went to school and you're an alumni, you look back and you're like, but I don't want things to change because it was wonderful when I was there. But the times have changed. We need more. I'm sure there's some tight fits. Where do we have to go next? If we're building the Bali Center, are we still tight on campus for things in the College of Ag?
We're really in pretty good shape. We've got one need that we're working on. So Shepherd Arena is a building on campus that's near and dear to many people's hearts. Our Settlements Rowland Club hosts their Little International there. It'll be the 100th Little International this year. So Valentine's weekend, if you're looking for a fun activity, come and be part of our Settlements Rowland Club's Little Eye that they'll have then. We have a committee that's working on some planning for what what they think the needs are going to be for replacement of that building. We're a ways off from replacing that. We're not looking at any kind of initial demo or anything like that with that particular building, but that'll be probably one that's 4 to 5 to 7 years out, depending on timing and fundraising and that sort of thing.
And Greg, that kind of piggybacks on my question. You said 5 to 7 years. Where do you see the department in 10 years in terms of enrollment and expansion?
Yeah, Dean, great question. So we're really looking toward a couple of things. One is a lot of interest in ag majors in general, animal science, natural resource management, agribusiness continue to be some of our most popular majors. We think there's opportunities to continue to grow in enrollment. So we were up 4.4% this year in new freshmen. So we've got really nice interest in freshmen. We also started a new program this fall called the Masters of Agriculture. That's a totally online program, so really designed for working professionals that are not going to be able to quit their full-time job, come back and be in residence for a traditional master's program. And students in that can take one class, they can take a certificate, they can complete the master's. It's really up to them. They can customize that program to their needs. And so we see, I think a continued involvement of programs to meet workforce needs, really focusing in on listening carefully to our employers and what they need. Some of what they're telling us right now is they really want our graduates to come out with a good working knowledge of how to use artificial intelligence. Oh, yeah. How that's going to be applied in different agricultural fields. They still want, those interpersonal skills, communication skills, that sort of thing that you get in our programs. They want them to come in with, that kind of hands-on experience. So when they get to work in one of our laboratories or work with our scientists on a research project, work at our barns on 19th Avenue, our students really come out pretty well equipped to go right in the workforce as undergraduates and into some pretty exciting careers. So we're going to continue to double down on kind of that residential experience, but adding on some of those online areas where we think there's a competitive advantage for us.
Is AI rapidly increasing?
Yeah, it's definitely, our scientists are using it as part of their research programs. We're working on, we actually have a task force right now that's trying to inventorying what we've got going with our use of artificial intelligence in teaching, research, and extension across NDSU agriculture, just so we can get our arms around what people are doing already. But our employers, the people that are hiring our students definitely see the need for our students to come out equipped with the knowledge of how to apply it. They're not looking to hire, people that are going to, work and develop AI in their companies, but really applying what's already out there.
That's funny because the National Weather Service today just released 2 new forecasting computer models using AI. And, they've been experimenting with it over the last few years. And it's interesting to see how AI kind of blends with other things. And it's definitely a good tool to use, but hopefully, we don't lean on that too much, at least not yet.
Yeah, I think it's like any technology. It's a tool. We just this fall announced a creation of our Peltier Institute for Advancement in Ag Technology. Artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to be a critical part of that, both in the research and teaching sides of what we do at that institute. So it's going to become embedded in a lot of the things we do just functionally across all of agriculture.
That's good.
And still having the person-to-person aspects, because AI is a great tool, just like Dean said, but we need everybody to still be able to function in workplaces as a person-to-person, put the human aspect to it, even train AI better in some of the respects of which we need it to work. So as you watch the development and your discussion with employers, Greg, do any of them show AI outpacing others where the adaptation rate is much higher?
It's a good question, Bridgette. We really haven't explored that with employers currently. But there's likely, you just think of, the different fields across agriculture. Certainly, AI has been big in terms of what it's done for automation and, all the things like AutoSteer and that sort of stuff. That's a lot of AI sort of behind the scenes there already. So I think you're seeing it being adopted in agriculture already because of the need to, have those tools that are going to be functionally it's really bringing together the biological disciplines, the engineering disciplines, and then that data science component. And you're exactly right. You want our graduates need to be firmly grounded in those interpersonal skills, because it still takes that human-to-human contact to really make the world go round in terms of the work we do in ag and food.
You know, as a animal science guy, you're going to appreciate a new use, I guess you could call it, that I was visiting about with some farmers on Monday night, and they're feeding information into, I mean, pick your favorite tool. I don't care if it's ChatGPT, Grok, whatever. They're feeding it information from bull sale catalogs and about the herd and the genetics, and using AI to help pick the next bull and the genetics they want to add to their herd lines. So I'm not sure if you've come across that yet, but I thought it was a pretty interesting discussion.
Well, so you've got AI, artificial intelligence, telling you which bull to use for the AI artificial insemination, right?
Glad you caught that. That is pretty cool. All right. Discussion points like this will continue, and you are welcome to call us 701-293-9000. We'll be back to continue visiting with Dr. Greg Lardy of NDSU. And our guest today, representing NDSU, he is Dr. Greg Lardy, the Joe and Norma Peltier Vice President for the College of Agriculture. And we've been talking about what's all been taking place on NDSU's campus for expansion in the College of Ag. We talked about the Boley building that's coming up. But have all the extensions and additions to the Peltier Center or the Peltier complex been completed, Greg, or how does that operation look?
Yeah, Peltier is all completed, Bridgette. So that building is done. Still working through a few little, minor things with the architects and engineers, but yeah, that building's completed. The other major building project on campus that affects ag is actually the Offered All 65 engineering complex, because our ag and biosystems engineering department, ag technology programs are all moving in that building when it's completed. So that should be done fall of 2026, and so our faculty will have some lab space, office space, high bay space for a lot of the things with the bigger equipment that'll go in there. So our guys that like the equipment, tractors, combines, all those kind of fun toys they get to play with, they're going to have some really cool lab space to work in.
So with all these improvements with buildings, facilities, what does that say to students who are looking to potentially attend NDSU, to researchers that we want to recruit, and really back to those employers who help be a big part of funding the whole operation?
Yeah, it definitely helps with, when you have modern buildings on campus, it definitely helps with student recruitment, because they see those buildings, they can see themselves, in those classrooms, in the labs. And they're, our prospective students do shop around. They're looking regionally and nationally at different programs, and so it definitely does help with getting students here. It definitely helps with faculty recruitment and retention, because when they see, modern greenhouse space, new buildings, new research facilities to work in, it really does help us attract and retain those top quality scientists. So it definitely is all part of the package that people are looking at when they look at a prospective job.
Well, I have two listener comments sent to me. One of them, one of our listeners said that if I still, which is handy, we're talking about ag technology and engineering. He said that front-mounted sander spreader on your pickup is totally doable. Just instead of mounting it in the rear, 2-inch receiver hitch mounted on the front. Thank you. I appreciate that. But then secondly, there was an additional question, and that is in regards to your discussion, Greg, about the Masters of Agriculture. Is that the same as the certifications that people would be looking for? Are those different, and what areas would they be involved?
Yeah, so in our Masters of Ag program, totally online program, so those classes are offered asynchronously. Students take those remotely, so anywhere in the world, you're enrolled as a student here, you can take those courses. You can take a single course, you can take courses toward a certificate. So we have got a number of certificates really kind of broadly across all of our ag programs that contribute to that. So, things like, plant protection, plant production, milling and baking, all sorts of things that, you'd think of when you think of kind of those technical skills that are needed for, moving forward in a career. We just hired a new faculty member that'll start the end of the month here in our ag engineering department. That person will be developing some additional coursework in that ag technology area that'll contribute to a certificate in ag tech with that master's program. So a number of areas where prospective students can further technical skills in that area, in those areas broadly across agriculture. And I think it's really important for people to know that, if you want access to those sort of resources or need for employment purposes to have that, but you can't come back to campus, this is an opportunity for you to do that, participate.
And Greg, tell us a little more about the endowed chair.
Yeah, so we just November 14th announced a new endowed chair position, an endowed chair in agribusiness. That person is Dr. Mike Boland, and it's the Ag Country Endowed Chair in agribusiness. That position was NDSU's first fully funded endowment that entirely created the position. Our other faculty endowments are supplements or go in part to supplement an existing position. But Ag Country really stepped up and saw a need in agribusiness finance. They wanted a person of national stature that could really take this program to the next level. And so we were able to hire Dr. Boland. He comes to us most recently from Kansas State. Great guy, really engaging, and I think going to be a fantastic addition to our agribusiness department.
Great.
He comes with a wealth of experience. I was there that day when the announcements were made and the introductions, and it just continues to show that our agribusiness, applied economics, is an area that is so well known regionally, nationally, worldwide. You have people on staff there, Greg, that are just respected in their fields, and they're considered the authorities.
They are, and it's a wonderful department, and we've got, recent additions there include our new Federal Policy Research Center. Dr. Sandor Steinbach is running that, really getting national visibility on the ag policy front. They've been front and center with a lot of the policy discussions on, the Farm Bill and the sorts of things that we need in this area for crop insurance and those risk protection measures. So it's been fun to watch what we've been able to do in that realm in just a short period of time.
And it's just been outstanding to be a part of. Now, you have the SBARE was on our list to talk about. State Board of Ag Research and Education.
You got it, yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of acronyms in our world these days. I got to sort them out. All right, so with SBARE, do you want to talk a little bit about what that is? Fill-in guest host for me is often Sarah Levis. She's a past chair of that board. You've got new board members who've come on, and what are they going to be doing for the next few years in their term?
Yeah, so SBARE is the board that's responsible for programmatic and budgetary oversight of NDSU Extension and the Ag Experiment Station. It was created in 1997 by the legislature, and they, on a biennial basis, Bridgette will do listening sessions to understand what the needs are across the state in terms of ag research and extension. Then they develop a prioritized list that is taken to the legislature, offered to the legislature as a guide for what the agencies need going forward in the next biennium. So even though, April of 2025, we just finished the last legislative session, they're in the middle of, just wrapped up the listening sessions that they had for this next biennium. They'll begin in January to prioritize those things, and by March they'll have their list ready for the governor to review and ready for the legislature in January of 2027. So we're rapidly moving ahead in terms of that process. But that board is very important to agriculture across the state. It's made up of 13 voting members. There's 5 that are elected from the Ag Coalition, 5 from Extension Multi-County Programming Units across the state, and then 2 that are appointed by the legislature and the president of the university.
It's a board that well represents what we need in all commodity crops across the state. We take into account just so many different facets of what's happening in agriculture. And you said there are listening sessions that are held, but that shouldn't ever deter someone from reaching out if they see a need or just a desire to see more done within the state, correct? This is not like a closed session one-time thing.
Yep, absolutely. And actually there's still time for people to submit written comments, either electronically or through the mail. You can send those to our offices in Morrill Hall. The board will consider those as part of their reviews when they begin mid-January with thinking about the priorities and so on. So definitely, anytime that people want to provide that kind of input. Pam Gullison from Rutland is our board chair now, and she's done a wonderful job of guiding the board over the last several months. But it's really a farmer-rancher-driven board. You've got people from a broad variety of experiences and backgrounds across the state. You got geographic and discipline-based diversity on that board. So they look out for all of agriculture when they think about what to do.
Dr. Lardy, I know how hectic your schedule is. There's a lot of things that happen when you run a college of agriculture at NDSU, administratively, alumni, faculty, and staff. Thank you for taking the time to give some updates, because as taxpayers, it's a good idea for us to know what's happening, where our dollars go, and why it's so wisely spent.
Well, Bridgette, I really appreciate the chance to be with you and Dean this afternoon. It's always fun to be in studio here and visit with the two of you and just talk a little bit about what we're doing across broadly across NDH agriculture. And really proud of the work we do. Our faculty and staff are wonderful. And we've got a statewide presence. So, 53 counties with county extension programs, 7 research extension centers. NDSU is literally no more than a half hour a drive away from most people in terms of getting to a county seat where there's a county extension program or getting to one of our research centers.
And it's great to
They've
see.
been outstanding to work with.
Yeah, and it's great to see the department growing too.
Yeah, we're excited about 4.4% up in new freshmen. That's the big milestone for us. Huge shout out to Blaine Novak and our recruiting efforts that he's done. He's just done a wonderful job with that. So we're looking forward to more good things there.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon, and be safe tomorrow.
I will.
During the weather.
I will.
A good day to just stay home. Why is that? Well, we've got a blizzard warning in effect that goes into effect for tomorrow. We'll run down the details of that coming up right after the break. And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus, 1:51 in the afternoon. It's time for our Wednesday weather trivia. Again, for a chance to win one of our Darter plastic rain gauges. And today's trivia question is, what is the warmest temperature ever recorded since records began? What's the warmest temperature on Christmas in Fargo? 701-293-9000. What's the warmest temperature we've recorded on Christmas Day in Fargo? And a bonus, if you can tell me the year, I'll throw in something a little extra. How's that?
I cannot give you the year, but I can tell you that one of our listeners, Kevin, he texted me earlier. He said his guess for today's trivia question is 1.5 to possibly 9 miles per hour, depending on the size of the snowflake.
Oh, how fast?
Wanted to get that out.
Right.
Yeah, he just wanted to throw that out there. Has nothing to do with today's trivia question.
That's okay. That's okay. It's but let's see. All right, we'll go with line one. Caller, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy, what's your guess for today's weather trivia?
Oh, I'm just going to throw 58 out there.
No, not that warm. See, I thought it was, before I looked this up, I thought it was in the 50s for sure too, but that's not the case. So there's hint number one. So caller line two, what's your name?
Yeah, Mike.
Mike, hey, what's your guess for chance to win one of those Darter plastic rain gauges?
42.
It is not 42. No, it is not. So let's see. Caller three, what's your guess? What's your name and your guess?
My name's Lee. Guess is 47 degrees.
Wow. All right. How'd you know?
Good guess.
Oh, come on. No, that was more than a guess. Okay. But, well, then what year? If you know it was 47, what year?
Oh, 2002.
No, close. 1999. 1990. Yeah. So that was definitely a warm period. So, all right, we're going to put you on hold here, and our wonderful, talented producer Addison will take your information. You know where the studios are at, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, he'll get your information, and you can stop by anytime during regular business hours to pick that up.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Congrats. All right, good deal. So 40. That was a darn good guess. That was a darn good guess.
Huh?
And the reason I brought that up for today's weather trivia is because we're getting some indications next week. Now it depends how much snow we get tomorrow, and how much if any of that melts between tomorrow and Christmas, because we're getting signs on that next week around Christmas. We could be into the 40s, so we could be flirting with record territory on
Good, I got
on
places to
Christmas.
get.
Yeah, right. Oh man! So the good news is for next week, no big storms on the horizon. There's a couple of little minor systems that appear to be on the horizon, but we are looking at quiet weather next week. But again, a blizzard warning has just been issued by the Weather Service for tomorrow along and north of 94. So that does include Jamestown through Fargo, Moorhead, and points northward. Once you get into Lakes Country, DL, and points southward, a winter weather advisory is in effect. Regardless, the conditions and the timing on this is going to be from about 7 a.m. tomorrow through 1 in the afternoon. That's going to be the worst part of the storm. That's when the snow will be falling. The winds will be gusting over 50. I mean, it's a good thing that we melted off some of this snow, because if the snow that we had on the ground right now was that dry, fluffy stuff before we started melting it and put a crust on it, it would be even worse. So always trying to look for that silver lining. But it's going to be bad regardless tomorrow morning. By tomorrow evening, conditions will improve. The snow should shut down by about 2 in the afternoon, and the winds should relax towards evening. So Friday looks a lot better, and the weekend looks quiet as well. Now, I had an emailer shoot me a question saying, hey, the LRC, because I was talking about a quiet week next week, and the LRC had a storm system coming in here roughly the 23rd, 24th, 25th of next week. So that would have impeded or impacted Christmas travel. That doesn't look to be the case. And here's the reason is Gary's been doing a lot of in-depth studying of the cycle this year, and he said this cycle seems to be extremely longer than normal this year. And what he thought was about a 60 to 63 day cycle now looks like about a 70 to 73 day cycle. So he's updating his website. If you're one of the subscribers to the dashboard, they're in the process of updating this. And basically he said push everything back about 10 days. So the Christmas storm that we were going to get will come after the New Year. So just kind of mark that on your calendar. And we've got
I've got a listener question for you, and we've
Sure.
got a caller.
Yeah,
so
we've got.
your
Let's
quick listener question.
Sure, go ahead, Bridgette.
Okay, a quick listener question. We have some listeners in Ransom County. They said they want to get an update for Ransom County. So think Lisbon, Fort Ransom, etc. They want to know if anything's going to impact them. They are south of I-94.
Yeah, they will be impacted, but not as bad. So they'll see a little blowing snow, but in terms of accumulation, half inch to an inch. So there will be some slippery travel, but not as bad as along and north of the 94 corridor. Good question, though. Tom,
Thanks.
line one. Tom, what's your question?
Yeah, real quick. So same thing. How about driving to, say, Riles Acres, Harwood, Mapleton, Horace, Glendon? How bad with the 50-mile-an-hour winds do you anticipate?
Again, well, when are you driving, Tom? I guess that's the first question.
About 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
It's going to be bad. If you can hold it off until evening, I would absolutely do that.
Dentist appointment.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad. That's about ready to enter the peak time of the storm. So yeah, that would not.
I better change it.
Yeah, I would do that.
Thanks.
All right, not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. So again, if you have any travel plans tomorrow morning, I would hold those off until at least tomorrow night. Probably better off just holding that off until Friday. That's probably your best bet.
And you're talking freezing rain tonight around 7, so I'm going to try to jet her back before I run into any trouble.
Yeah, you'll be fine tonight. Most of it's liquid tonight. It won't be until tomorrow morning that things really start to get hairy. So, yeah.
Freezing temps.
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. So for Bridgette, myself, I want to thank everybody for joining us on Weather and Ag in Focus. The Jay Thomas Show, that's coming up next.